ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमो ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण।
Thank you very much for starting off with the prayers. I really enjoyed the previous session, Guru, where you showed us how to see the hand of God everywhere, see the spark of God in each and everything, and how Krishna mentions specifically in each and everything how he is about the best. Speaking about being the best, you taught us how to live in a competitive environment, whether we should be competitive or how the dynamics of being competitive work. The topic of being the best, Krishna mentions the jnana of the Gosmi, and you put some light on that. It was a really relished the session which I really relished, and I hope all the listeners of this podcast are relishing each and every session. So, Prabhu, you mentioned how to see God in each and every place. We can, according to Krishna, among the Devatas, he's the best. Yagyas, he's like So, Prabhu also comes as incarnations of God. He was avatars. He came as Krishna, he was Rama. And there are people who claim in today's day and age that they are Vishnu's 10th avatar, they are this avatar, that avatar. So is there any checklist that we can use to verify? And is there any way we can verify if they are indeed avatar of God?
Okay. So, thank you, Surya Prabhu, for starting us off. And today we are missing Jai Kishan Prabhu, but always I'm spoiled by choices that has such wonderful hosts. Sometimes when Jai Kishan Prabhu is not there, it's a mixed bag of feeling that okay, today Jai Kishan Prabhu is not there, but then yes, we will get to have Surya Prabhu. So thank you for coming and joining. And coming to the discussion. we discuss the 10th chapter, and Krishna in the end of the 10th chapter he says yad yad vibhuti mat sattvam shrimad urjitam eva tattadeva gachatvam mama tejo amsha sambhavat. Krishna is telling, oh Arjuna, in this world, in this universe, whatever grandeur, opulence, greatness, astonishing variety that you are seeing is just a spark of my splendor. It's just manifested through one of my amshas. Mama teja amsha sambhavat. So he said that it's just one of my expansions, one of my amshas who produces this entire gigantic or inspiring cosmic manifestation, this universe and all the universes and the multiverses, all of them, they are just produced by my amsha, and that is Karanodakshay Vishnu and Garbhodakshay Vishnu. So here Arjuna now wants to see. Arjuna in the 11th chapter asks Krishna, you said, what is that Amsha which produces this entire brilliant grandeur of the cosmic universal manifestation? ये universe में इतने planets है, इतना variety है, इतना microscopic level से macroscopic level तक जितना भी precise scientific laws है, इतने इतना from mountains to oceans to the rivers to the flora and the fauna, the biology and the zoology, ये जो इतना variety है, ये आप बोल रहे हैं आपके एक अंश से आया है, वो आपका अंश है क्या? So let's see what Arjuna asks Krishna. Arjuna says, third verse, एवमेतद् यथाथ त्वम् आत्मानं परमेश्वर द्रष्टुमिच्छामि ते रूपम ऐश्वरम पुरुषोत्तम. Arjuna says, O greatest of all personalities, O supreme form, though I see you here before me in your actual position, as you have described yourself, I wish to see how you have entered into this cosmic manifestation. I want to see that form of yours. So, following up from the previous chapter, where Krishna said, Atha va bahunetena kim gyatena tavarjuna vishthabhyaham idam krishnam ekamshena sthito jagat. मेरे एक अंश से ये पूरा जगत स्थित है, मेरे एक अंश से, just by my one amsha, I am managing and maintaining this entire universe. So Arjuna saying, क्या है वो अंश? Because I see you right in front of me and I can relate to you. But this universe is really overwhelming. When you see the universe and its intricacies, the more deeper we go into science, the more we go deeper into the mysteries of the universe, we are more and more awe-inspired that how did it all come? And Krishna, आप ये बोल रहे हैं, ये पूरा universe is just manifest and managed by just one of your amshas. I just want to know about this. I just want to see that amsha. आप जो दिख रहे हैं सामने, मतलब हमारे जैसे ही लग रहे हैं. It's not difficult to understand you. You are also have a human-like form, like two hands, two legs, two eyes, 2 ears. शिवजी वाला थर्ड आई भी नहीं है आपका, तो मतलब यू आर कंप्लीटली नॉर्मल. बट आप बोल रहे हैं आपका एक अंशा ये सब कर लेता है, तो अंशा कैसे दिखते होंगे? सहस्र शीर्षा पुरुषः सहस्राक्षा सहस्रपाद. So the Purusha Shukta prayers talks about this form. In the Rig Veda, there are these Purusha Shukta prayers which glorify that Virat Purusha, that universal personality who is actually maintaining this entire universe, who is Garbhodakshai Vishnu, who is sometimes spoken of as the Vishnu, 4-handed Vishnu forms, and sometimes spoken of as 1,000 heads, 1,000 arms, 1,000 legs. Such a grandeur, form of such grandeur. So Arjun at this point of time wants to know about that form which has pervaded and supported this entire universe. जब वो Greek mythology में वो Hercules, वो अर्थ को उठाने के लिए उसका bulging muscles, right? तो ये पूरा यूनिवर्स को उठाने वाले कैसे, मतलब कितना वो वर्कआउट किए रहेंगे, मतलब हरक्यूलिस को तो पसीना आ रहा है, बट महाविष्णु गर्भोदक्षाय विष्णु तो सब सो रहे हैं. So here Arjuna wants Krishna to manifest that Sahasra Shirsha Purusha form, that universal form by which he is maintaining and manifesting this entire creation. So now, like, this was just a background. This was not the answer to your question, Surya Prabhu. Now the question is that how, like, these days there are so many, sometimes we hear about claims of incarnation. कोई तो पेपर में ऐसा आया था कि अरे ये पिछले हफ्ते तक तो he was a clerk in the water department of the government of Gujarat, and abhi he is an avatar of Vishnu. एक हफ्ते में देखो क्या प्रमोशन मिला है. एक हफ्ते पहले वो वाटर वर्क्स डिपार्टमेंट में काम करते थे और एक हफ्ते में अभी उन्होंने डिक्लेयर कर दिया अरे मैं ही विष्णु हूँ, तो मुझे ही सब आके प्रार्थना करो और मैं तुम्हारा बेड़ा पार लगाऊंगा. वो सारे शास्त्रों में जिसके लिए बोला है वो मैं ही हूँ. तो actually to rule out such absurd claims, Krishna then manifested this universal form to Arjuna. कि भाई हर कोई कल को उठ के आके नहीं बोले कि भाई मैं भी अवतार है. So therefore when Krishna said that in Kali Yuga there won't be any dearth of imposters. There won't be, people want to get cheated and there are people who are waiting to cheat. So therefore Krishna showed this universal form, which we will also discuss in detail later on. Nahi to, if Krishna had not shown, then people would have photoshopped करके अपना बना लेते थे कि ये लो मेरे भी 1000 सर हैं, शास्त्र में बताया है, किसने देखा है, किसने तो देखा नहीं है, तो मैं ऐसे बता देता हूँ, बीच में मैं अपना सर लगा देता हूँ. इनफैक्ट आप गूगल करोगे तो आपको शायद ऐसे मिलेंगे भी, कोई तो योगी बाबा अपना बॉडी और बाकी यहाँ पे 10 सर, यहाँ पे 10 सर ऐसा लगा दिए हैं. इसमें शिव जी हैं, विष्णु हैं, कृष्णा है, देव मरुत हैं, हनुमान जी है, सबका लगा दिया है. फोटोशॉप एकदम बढ़िया परफेक्ट किया है. लेकिन हमें फोटोशॉप वाले भगवान नहीं चाहिए, हमें फिलॉसफी वाले भगवान चाहिए, राइट. So therefore Krishna manifested his universal form to rest, to put to rest any such absurd claims that people may make. Now coming to the point that how do we determine whether someone is an avatara, but before that we need to determine what is an avatara, है ना? So let's go systematically. Isn't it, Surya Prabhu?
Yes, bro. That will be better. We hear avatar as a noun, but actually उसका definition क्या है? I guess it would be better to listen and then consider.
So here, let's. So avatar, as the name suggests, has the word avatar means the one who descends from the spiritual world into this material world for deliverance. So we can call it descending divinity. When the divine transcendental supreme Lord Bhagwan, he appears into this world out of his own free will, out of his own sweet will. When we come, we take birth, as the Bhagavatam says, that karmana daiva netrena jantul deho papatte. It says striya pravishta udaro pumsa reta kanashraya, that the living entity does not choose his or her mother and father. क्या रे मैं इनके घर में है ना बहुत अच्छा धनवान धनाढ़ परिवार है, क्यों ना अंबानी के घर में पैदा हुआ जाए, क्यों ना मैं सचिन के तेंदुलकर के घर पे पैदा हूँ, डायरेक्ट मुझे क्रिकेट टीम में एडमिशन मिल जाएगा, अर्जुन तेंदुलकर बन जाओ, राइट. You can't choose that. We are born without our conscious awareness, isn't it? और in fact किसी ने तो मतलब ऐसे कलयुग तो ऐसा हो गया है कि there are people who have slapped court case on their parents, that for your enjoyment you put me into this, you brought me in this world without my kind of permission. You dragged me to this world and now see there is so much suffering, so you must pay me lifelong subsistence allowance. तो ऐसे निकम्मे नालायक निहायती बेकार भी आजकल लोग होते हैं कि भाई, so they don't understand the philosophy. भाई, I am being born as per my karma, whatever I have done in the past, I deserve a certain apartment based on my purchasing power. So this the body wherever I'm born is as per my karma. We don't choose our body, right? We don't choose where we are born, in which family, what is the color of our skin, uh, what is our intelligence level. We don't choose. We are forced. Karmana daiva netrena. By the force of karma, that is our past karma, and daiva. And according to the arrangement of the daiva, we take shelter of a mother and father. However, the Lord, he chooses to come in this world at as per his time, as per his place, as per the circumstance where he wants to appear out of his sweet will. And that is called avatar. And Lord chooses to descend. So in this case, everything is reversed. यहाँ पे माता पिता ऑस्टेरिटी कर रहे हैं कि हे प्रभु आके आप, जन्माष्टमी आ रहा है, and we know that Devaki and Vasudev, in their previous lives, they were Prishni and Prishni Garbha, and they performed great austerities. Kashyapa and Aditi, Prishni and Prishni Garbha, and they performed great austerities to obtain the Supreme Lord as their son. And उनके ऑस्टेरिटी से प्रसन्न होकर भगवान ने उनको वरदान दिया कि I will come as your son for 3 births. So Krishna chooses. Okay, ठीक है, तुम लोग इतना चाहते हो, so I'll come. We don't get to choose. But when Lord chooses, he comes down in the form of avatar. And then it's described that there are 6 types of avatars. So 2 of these avatars are about operations, for ensuring the operations of this world, which are Purusha avatars and Guna. तो ये मतलब ये भौतिक जगत का फैक्ट्री चलना चाहिए, उसके लिए ये 2 टाइप्स के अवतार हैं. Then the other 4, then you can say the other 4 avatars are for governance. So there is Mana, Vansa, avatar, then there is Yoga, and then there is Leela. So these are the 6 different types of avatars. So you can see कितना ये साइंस है इसके पीछे. It's not random कि भाई कल को उठ के कोई भी आके बोले भाई मैं अवतार हूँ, मेरा जॉब अच्छा नहीं चल रहा है, हाँ थोड़ा there has been some रिसेशन आ गया है, तो महंगाई के कारण अभी मुझे एक नया प्रोफेशन ढूंढना पड़ेगा, तो चलो अवतार बन जाते हैं. It's not that about that. So Purusha avatar क्या है? Purusha avatars are, there are these 3 Purushas: the Karanadakshayi Vishnu or the Mahavishnu. Mahavishnu is the so okay, before this we go into these Vishnus. First of all, there's the spiritual world. Just like in the material world, there are different countries and cities, yes or no? So so I can see people from Indore today, our dear devotees from Indore. There are someone from Kolkata, someone from Jaipur. Any other place? Mumbai, of course. Surya Prabhu from Vrindavan, right? और कोई कहीं और से ज्वाइन किए क्या? or I have covered everything? Okay, so just like in this world, there are people from there are different countries, there are different cities, right? So yes, Neha, I covered Kolkata. So there are different cities. So similarly, in the spiritual world also there are different places. Spiritual world is not some abstract, very undefined territory. Spiritual world also has different places. So there are different lokas. There is the Dwarkapuri, the place. The Dwarka in this world is an expansion and amsha of the original Dwarka in the spiritual world. The Ayodhya in this world is just an expansion and amsha of the Ayodhya Puri in the spiritual world. So there are different planets where different forms of Lord reside. There's a planet of Lord Ram. There's a planet of Lord Narsingha where he's staying with Prahlad Maharaj. There is a planet of Varahadev. There's a planet of Vaman Dev, Kurma Dev, etc. And then there is the Goloka Vrindavan where the Supreme Lord Shri Krishna resides, who is the source of all other forms. So Lord Krishna, he expands into Lord Balaram. Lord Balaram, he further expands into the Chaturvyuha, Vasudeva, Sankarshan, Pradyumna, Aniruddha. And then from this Sankarshan, a second quadruple expands, Vasudeva, Sankarshan, Pradyumna, Aniruddha. From that Sankarshan expands, the Karanudakshai Vishnu or the Mahavishnu. So the Mahavishnu is the presiding deity of this entire cosmic manifestation. मतलब जो भी universes नहीं, multiverse जो भी है, जितने भी universes है, सबके origin है महाविष्णु. This is, as the name suggests, Maha. He is the huge, big source of the entire material world. So from the pores of his body, through his breathing, he is exhaling countless number of universes. Just as when we breathe out, और जब हम छींकते हैं, तो अभी कोविड में पता लगा कि कितने millions of particles come out, right? So there are so many particles within our breathing, and so as many particles of universes are there in the breathing of Mahavishnu. So when he exhales, all of these universes come out. When he inhales, all of those universes go inside him. So this is the Karanudakshai Vishnu. And then Karanudakshai Vishnu, he creates, उनके breathing से बहुत सारे universes बन जाते हैं. But then to maintain those universes, because those universes are lifeless, just as this body is useless and lifeless without the soul residing in it, it is just a lump of matter. So similarly, the universe is also useless and lifeless without the Lord entering it. So Lord Mahavishnu expands as Garbhodakshai Vishnu, Garbha, जो गर्भ में जाते हैं उस ब्रह्मांड के और उस ब्रह्मांड में जाके बैठ जाते हैं. So when he enters, then that universe teems with life. When that in universe में सब कुछ creation होना चालू होता है. Otherwise it's all lump of matter. And then further Garbhodakshai Vishnu expands as Shirodakshai Vishnu, as a Paramatma, क्योंकि all of us are like kind of a gadget without powerhouse. अगर हम powerhouse से connected नहीं है, तो there is no way we can move or do anything, right? So Lord Garbhodakshai Vishnu expands as the Paramatma and enters in our heart, and only when the Paramatma is there, we are active and alive. So the moment Paramatma leaves, this body is dead. The soul will also leave. It will follow the Paramatma. So that is the Shirodakshai. So these are the three Purusha avatars. These are the three big Purushas. Then there are the Guna avatars. Guna avatars mean in this world there are the three gunas, Sattva, Raja and Tama. So the three incarnations which actually manage these three gunas or apply these three gunas are Vishnu, who is in charge of goodness, Brahma, who is in charge of passion, and Shiva, who is in charge of ignorance, right? Creation, maintenance, and destruction. So these two avatars, these two categories of avatars are for the operations of this universe. Now comes the Manvantar avatar. That a day of Brahmaji is divided into, there are 14 different Manus in a day of Brahma who are actually reigning that entire day of Brahma. Matlab, someone has to be the king, right? To maintain and kind of maintain law and order. So that there are 14 Manus, and during each Manu's reign, there is a Manvantar avatar. That Lord descends to help that Manu specifically. And within each Manvantar, you have 71 Yuga cycles. So so therefore, each Yuga cycle, each Yuga, there is an avatar, right? So therefore, you have these avatars in each Yuga. So for the Satya Yuga, there is Hamsa avatar. For the Treta Yuga, you have Lord Ramchandra. For Dwapar Yuga, you had Lord Krishna appear. And for Kali Yuga, the Channa avatar, Lord Chaitanya appeared. So different yugas, Lord appears personally. Then there is a Leela avatar, where the Lord just appears for any Leela. It's not time bound. The Manvantar and Yuga avatar, they are time bound, avatars for governance. The Leela avatar is Lord's sweet will, ki chalo kuch Leela karne jate hain. Let's have some fun. And then he appears to perform certain pastime, certain Leela. जैसे नरसिंह देव आए, लीला करके चले गए. उनको आगे पीछे कुछ लेना देना नहीं है. He just performed a Leela and went. And then Shakti avatar is when the Lord imbues and invests his Shakti in a particular soul. Example, Prathu Maharaj is a Shakti avatar. So a living entity who has been bestowed with powers of Krishna, of God. That becomes a Shakti avatar. So Narad Muni is also one. So these are the different types of avatars, by the way. So whenever anyone claims, you ask them, by the way, which one of these 6 are you? They might not even know. Then secondly, there are many indications given in the scriptures. First of all, the mention of an avatar must be present in one of the scriptures. So you must have references which are foretelling the advent of a certain incarnation. So that is a factor which should be seen. For example, the Bhagavatam, it talks about Krishna Varnam Tusha Krishnam Sango Parshadam Yagya Sankirtanai Praya Yajanti hi Sumedasa. So that in this age of Kali, Lord will appear Krishna only, but in a form which is not Krishna, which means Krishna is black, form which is not black is golden. So Krishna will appear in the golden form, Anga, like Parshadam. He will appear with his Parshadas, Nityanand Prabhu, Advaita Acharya, etc. And for what? Sankirtan Yagya, to perform the Sankirtan Yagya. So there are indications in the scriptures about the advent of an incarnation. Mahabharata also talks about Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's advent. Then there are Chaitanya Upanishad, and there are many other scriptures. So there should be scriptures which foretell about that incarnation. Example, Kalki is also told will appear after 4,27,000 years. So that is to be seen. Then there are 32 symptoms of a great personality. So there are 32 bodily features of a great personality which should be which are called Samudrika. So it says Pancha Dirgha, Pancha Sukshma, Saptarakta Shad Unattaha, Tri Hrashva Prathu Gambhiro, Dvatrimsha Lakshano Mahan. It says there are 32 bodily symptoms of a great personality. 5 of his bodily parts are large, 5 fine, 7 reddish, 6 raised, 3 small, 3 broad, and 3 grave. So the 5 large parts are the nose, arms, chin, eyes, knees. They should be large. The 5 fine parts are the skin, the fingertips, the teeth, the hair on the body, and the hair on the head. The 7 reddish parts are the eyes, the soles, palms, palate, nails, upper and lower lips. So the 6 raised parts are the chest, shoulders, nails, nose, waist, and mouth. So like this, there are these 32 bodily symptoms, features which should be there. Further, there have to be markings on the form of that personality. For example, the thunderbolt, the gourd, elephant gourd, the chakra, the barley, grains, they are all marked on the lotus feet of the Lord. तो इतना सारा मतलब सिक्योरिटी चेक लगाने के बाद में अगर कोई अवतार क्वालिफाई कर जाए, right? So that's only the Supreme Lord. So the scriptures have given enough kind of symptoms for us to actually kind of accept anyone as an avatar. And of course, so one is the scriptures, one is verify the bodily bodily features, and third is what do other great personalities say. When in the 10th chapter, Arjuna said, Asito devalo vyaso swayam chaiva bravishime. Ahustvam rishaya sarve. All the great sages, such as Narada, Asita, Devala, Vyas, they have been claiming, they have been proclaiming that you are the Supreme Lord. Now I have also got a realization of this. So what are the other great personalities saying? So you cannot bluff it. Basically, that's the point. So yes, Prabhu.
I guess nobody would dare to claim they are avatar after listening to such technical details about it. And briefly, Prabhu, you mentioned about Virat Rupa. Recently, there's a movie released about Robert J. Oppenheimer. So this was biopic. So yes, and it is claimed that he studied Gita a lot, and there's a famous clip as well where he mentions about Gita and about the Virat Rupa. So, Prabhu, is Virat Rupa in any way the same as an atom bomb, or that's the magnitude of atom bomb? I have a question regarding that.
Okay, so what is the Virat Rupa? Can you show us today? Is that what you're asking? Only Krishna can show, and only Arjun can see. And of course other devatas also saw. Sanjay could also see. It's not that only Arjuna saw. In the 11th chapter, you have Krishna describe to Arjuna what he is going to show. So you can go through this chapter and see. First, Krishna says that this is what I am going to show: a form with thousands of legs, arms, eyes, helmet, and then he describes the form. Then Sanjay says, yes, Krishna showed such a form, and he also gives a description. And then finally Arjuna said, oh Lord, I am able to see in this form of yours, that how you are measuring up and covering the entire universe, the heavens, the earth, everything. So this form was Krishna also says that the same, and Arjuna says, I am seeing the devatas becoming fearful seeing your form, which means the devatas also were seeing this form of Virat Rupa. So this form of Virat Rupa was being seen by a number of personalities. It was seen by Sanjaya, it was seen by Arjuna. Dhritarashtra, of course, he could not see any form, in any mundane form also, what to speak of divine form. But Sanjay and Arjun for sure were able to see this form, and then even Devatas were able to see. So Krishna says to Arjuna, Divyam dadami te chakshun. I will give you a special vision by which you will be able to see this form of mine. And this vision is not like that of a 3D effect wala movie ka chashma. कि आपको सब 3D effects and you are seeing ice cream dangle right over you, and you are trying to eat that, or a snake just come up close to you. So ये वो 3D effect वाला vision नहीं है. This is Divyam. Divyam means the vision of the Devatas. We have just a small spectrum of our vision, but the Devatas have a greater spectrum of vision. So Krishna says, I'll give you that divine vision by which you will be able to see. Now, what is this Virat Rupa? Basically, Virat Rupa, or this universal form which Krishna shows, it basically demonstrates and depicts that how this entire cosmos is situated, is maintained, and orchestrated by Krishna personally. How Krishna is holding up everything, how Krishna is maintaining everything, and how Krishna is organizing and orchestrating everything. So yes, we say not even a leaf can move without the sanction of God. हम बोल देते हैं, लेकिन कृष्णा करके दिखाए. देखो, मेरे सैंक्शन के बिना पत्ता भी नहीं हिलता. पत्ता भी हिल रहा है ना, पीछे मैं उसको पकड़ के हिला रहा हूं. So the invisible Krishna is being made visible. And how Krishna is only holding up everything, sustaining everything, and orchestrating everything. So Krishna is has basically, जैसे you have a phone, right? Now ये phone बाहर से reasonably इसके अंदर screen है. Then I open it up. I can see different apps, right? There are a number of apps, which apps I can use. So I can just keep using these apps and use this phone. But if someone opens this case और पूरा मुझे अंदर से सर्किटरी दिखा देता है, अरे पता है ये एप्स कैसे चल रहे हैं, इसके पीछे का माइक्रो प्रोसेसर, इसका जो चिप है वो कैसे चलता है, कैपेसिटर्स क्या है, what are the different semiconductors, diodes used. So now when someone opens up that entire circuit, how does it look? Bare bone. कुछ समझ नहीं आएगा. It will be very, very awe-inspiring. You will be astounded. क्या? With a microscope, when you look at that entire circuitry, you'll be amazed. So what Krishna has done in this universal form, Krishna ने पूरा universe का casing निकाल लिया, पीछे अंदर का circuit दिखाया. अर्जुन देखो, everything is being supported by me, maintained by me, and orchestrated by me. So that's what Krishna has done for Arjuna. And that is one example. Another example which I would like to give is that Krishna as a super soul of this entire universe. So we are aware just of the happenings which are there in our body. Whatever, 5.5 foot, by 3 foot, जो भी अपना range है, within that we can experience things, right? We have control over only those things which are within this frame, right? So this is the Kshetra and Kshetragya. Now Krishna is the super soul of the entire universe. So just as by my will, I can move this finger. If I desire, I move these fingers. So this entire universe is Krishna's body. That's the understanding of the universal form. Pura, he is conscious of every nook and cranny. हर जगह उनको पता लगता है अभी यहाँ ये हो रहा है, वहां ये हो रहा है, वहां ये हो रहा है. मुझे पता लगता है मेरे उंगली में दर्द है तो, मेरा नाखून छिल गया है तो मुझे दर्द होता है, पता लगता है, right? Similarly, Krishna is the super soul of the entire universe. Each and every corner, whatever is happening, Krishna knows. And just as I can move any limb of my body without putting any endeavor, Krishna is orchestrating this entire universe without putting any endeavor. That's the universal form. So actually, universal form is also, you can say, the universe is the body of Krishna. So there is this beautiful Saumya Roop of Krishna, which is the source of this universe. And then there is this universal body of Krishna. Isme pura Brahmand jo hai, which the Bhagavatam describes that the mountains are his bones. There are descriptions that the rivers are his veins, the veins in his body. So that so basically we can see this universe as a body of Krishna. Now when you say the universe is a body of Krishna, it's a person. So why don't we have a personal, why don't we feel that that this is Krishna's body? Why don't we connect to it as a person? Because if you can see me as a person only if you are in front of me, right? If there is a small microbe, a bacteria, who enters my body, who enters my nasal cavity, and then he enters inside my bloodstream, what he will see? He will see endless, meaningless complexity and variety. अरे इधर से ये नली इधर मुड़ रही है, उधर जा रहा है, यहाँ से ब्लड आ रहा है, ब्लड जा रहा है, सेल्स है, क्या क्या अलग अलग टाइप के सेल्स है, सेल्स में भी क्या माइटोकॉन्ड्रिया है, प्रोटोप्लाज्म है, क्या क्या है. You will just see variety, and he may have the best of mind and the brain, such as a scientist, and try to figure out one cell, एक cell के ऊपर पूरा research करके, or will try to find out, and will never say that, okay, actually this is a person. Will that scientist who is in the body of a microbe, who enters my body, with all his intelligence, can he figure it out that I am in the body of a person? No, he will just not be able to figure out कि भाई ये क्या variety है, क्या complexity है. उसको just, he will be surprised and astounded seeing the variety. That is what is happening to us and all the scientists. We are within the body of this universal form of Krishna. And just like small tiny microbe cannot figure out, we are not able to figure out this entire cosmos, gazing to the stars, looking at the vastness. But Krishna reveals it all, shows it all in one place to Arjuna. मतलब अर्जुना को एक मतलब क्या बोलते हैं, zoom out करके he gives him a view out of body. See Arjuna, everything is in me. Right? We are within the body, so we cannot see. Right? But Krishna zooms Arjuna out, and then he is able to see. And then Krishna says to Arjuna that, then Arjuna says, on seeing this form, oh, Ananta Bahum, you have thousands of arms, and your eyes are like the sun and moon. Your eyes are pleasing like the moon to the Devatas and harsh like the sun to the demons. Your mouths are like a blazing fire, similar to the fire of destruction. And Arjuna says, this everywhere I am seeing your form. In the heaven, the earth, the space between the earth and the heaven, in all directions, only you are there. There's nothing else. So this is what Arjuna is seeing. The entire universe as the body of Krishna. With thousands of heads, thousands of eyes, thousands of arms, thousands of legs. This is what Arjuna is seeing. So now when Mr. Oppenheimer compares the universal form to the atom bomb, when he sees that atom bomb explode, and he says that I can, he remembers the universal form. So actually, Krishna says that the effulgence, Arjuna says the effulgence of your universal form is like that of millions of suns rising together in the horizon. How glaring that effulgence would be, that is what this form of yours is. हमारी आंखों से तो हम देख ही नहीं सकते उसको. Our eyes with just a minuscule microscopic spark of that, we will get blinded. But Arjuna has been given a Divya Shakti by which he is able to see. So remembering this verse in the Bhagavad Gita, where Arjuna says that your form is like billions of suns rising together. When he sees the atom bomb explode and creating such a massive explosion, he says that probably it is something like the universal form, but no, sir. Even one sun, kabi a fraction of fraction is much greater than the atom bomb, right? And the universal form is millions of suns put together. So, so this is what Krishna has done. He has revealed the inner circuitry of this universe, that there's nothing which moves, nothing which exists without his support or without his arrangement. Does it make it clear, Surya Prabhu,
Yes,
or anyone else like to?
Yes. Definitely, Prabhu. And you mentioned how infinite this form. Am I audible?
Yes.
Yes. You mentioned how this form is so infinite, and I guess Arjuna also mentioned that you can't see any beginning, you can't see any end to that form. So such an infinite form, Prabhu. So how can we understand that such God is taking a finite form of Krishna or Ram or the other avatars? So how can such an infinite God take a finite form? Can you please put some light on that?
Okay, so is infinite greater than finite or smaller than finite?
Finite is greater than finite.
Yes, no brainer. Infinite is greater than finite. So, which means this universal form is the real form, and this limited form of Krishna, that's a limited form that is smaller, right? But the infinite, who can manifest himself as finite, is a greater infinite, because there cannot be any limitations to the infinite, right? The infinite. So infinite means it has to be big. You cannot make it small, which means it has a limitation. The infinite has a limitation that it has to be big. It is still bound. But then the infinite doesn't even have the limitation that it has to be big. The infinite fits the infinite within the finite and still remains infinite. And that is Krishna, beyond any limitations. And that's the greatness combined with the sweetness. When the Lord is great, you tend to get distanced. That's what Arjuna, when he saw this overwhelming, infinitely effulgent and infinitely fearsome form of the Lord, the universal form, that how he has these sharp fangs as Kalosmi, as a time personified, and he's grounding with those sharp teeth all the different warriors, Duryodhan, Karna, Bhishma, etc. Arjuna says, Krishna, this is too gruesome. In the form of the Kal, what Krishna did is gave Arjuna a time-lapse photography of what's going to happen in the future. 18 दिन में आगे क्या होने वाला था, उसको थोड़ा टाइम लैप्स फोटोग्राफी करके दिखा दिया अपने काल रूप से कि कैसे ये सब मरने वाले हैं. So Krishna showed that, but when Krishna showed that, Arjuna says, I am feeling I'm so minuscule, insignificant, and I was just, please forgive me that I actually spoke to you in condescending ways. मैंने आपके साथ बहुत मजाक किया. हे कृष्ण, हे यादव, हे सखेती. मैंने श्री कृष्ण भी नहीं बोला, कृष्ण ही बोला. अरे एक कृष्णा, श्री कृष्ण बोलना चाहिए, भगवान के आगे श्री नाम नहीं लगाया मैंने. यादव बोला, अरे आप तो यदुपति बोलना चाहिए. यू आर द बेस्ट अमंग द यदुस. मैं तो मतलब सरनेम से ही बुला दिया. सरनेम से बुलाना मतलब इतना रेस्पेक्टेबल नहीं होता है, राइट? सो यदुपति, यू आर द लॉर्ड ऑफ द यदुस, वैसे बोलना चाहिए था. सखेती, और अरे दोस्त यार, अरे यार इधर आ. सो इस प्रकार से मैंने आपको बुलाया है. सो ही इज फीलिंग डिस्टेंट, ही इज फीलिंग कृष्णा आप वहां है, मैं कहाँ हूं. But he's overwhelmed by that form, and he wants to again connect to Krishna in that beautiful, finite, relatable form. And that's the sweetness of Krishna, that he makes that greatness go in the background and brings his sweetness in the foreground, so that we can connect to him. He is not so much bothered about us, um, you know, respecting and worshipping him. He is more bothered about us connecting to him. So therefore, that infinite makes himself available and accessible as the finite, and still remains infinite. So when Mother Yashoda, she asked Krishna to check whether he has eaten dirt, asked him to open his mouth in the Brahmand, in the Brahmand Darshan Leela. He opened his mouth, and Yashoda was able to see the entire universe in the mouth, in the little mouth of Krishna. It's not that the mouth of Krishna expanded. The same size, little baby mouth of Krishna, but Yashoda is able to see the whole universe. It's not that just as we do in Google Maps, zoom in करके देखते हैं. वैसा नहीं, इतनी स्पेस में पूरा यूनिवर्स दिख रहा है. And within that universe, she is able to see the 14 planetary systems. And in that planetary system, the Bhuloka. In that Bhuloka, the Bharatvarsha. In the Bharatvarsha, the Bharatkhanda. In Bharatkhanda, the Mathura Braj Mandal Bhumi. In the Braj Mandal Bhumi, Vrindavan. In Vrindavan, the Nand Bhavan. In Nand Bhavan, she is seeing the courtyard where she, as Yashoda, is peeping into the mouth of Krishna. And again, in that mouth, again the whole universe. And again, universe, 14 planetary system, Bhuloka, etc., etc. So this is how the infinite can be infinitely infinite within his finite form. So that's how we can reconcile to.
Thank you. Reminds me of an old movie I saw long back, Inception. Sapne ke andar sapna, sapne ke andar sapna. Kind of like that. So, do we have time for some more questions, or do we take all these questions? How do we proceed?
Okay, let's take one last question.
Chalega. So, Prabhu, different question that we're having is in our law and order system. If somebody does anything wrong, to prove his criminality, there needs to be a witness, and a witness comes and proves that उसने ये किया. But हम अगर अकेले कुछ किए, अकेले में है कुछ गलत किए, and there is nobody to witness. So first of all, do we get any punishment for it? And if in case we get any punishment, then how do we undo that punishment if there is no witness?
Okay. So if I do something wrong and no one ever comes to know about it, then ठीक है ना, हो गया बस. मतलब why do I bother? And that's just fine. So this is one of the things because of which there are questions on the theory of karma, not the theory of karma, the law of karma. There are people from different religious traditions. They sometimes question that, oh, you have this law of karma, By the way, the Abrahamic religions, they don't have the law of karma. They just have the judgment day, and उस दिन पे जो हो गया उस दिन, if you are a believer, you go to heaven. You are a non-believer, you go to hell for eternity. मतलब it's basically आपका कोई choice है ही नहीं. आप if you happen to be a believer, मतलब बस हाँ बोल दो, हाँ मैं believer हूँ, इतना हो गया तो चलो जन्नत और heaven. नहीं चलो hell, right? जन्नत. But the Vedic tradition has this understanding of the law of karma. Lekin then these people ask question, are law of karma, but who is in a court of law where law prevails, you need to have certain witnesses who see, and without a witness you cannot incriminate someone and punish someone. So आप तो ये कर्मा की बात कर रहे हैं कि you are suffering because your past karma, लेकिन किसने देखा? मतलब मैंने तो मर्डर किया, किसी ने देखा नहीं, मुझे तो पूरा जिंदगी कुछ पनिशमेंट मिला नहीं. So how do you who is the witness that the question is asked? So here, first of all, in this 11th chapter itself, Krishna says the sun and the moon are my eyes, so don't worry. या तो सूर्य या चांद, दिन रहेगा तो सूर्य देव देख रहे हैं, रात है तो चंद्रमा देख रहे हैं. तो आप जो भी देख रहे हो सब ऊपर वाला सब देख रहा है. उन्होंने सीसीटीवी कैमरा ऊपर फिट करके रखा है. एक डे का कैमरा, एक नाइट व्यूइंग का अलग कैमरा रहता है. उसी नाइट के फुटेज के लिए एक अलग टाइप का कैमरा रहता है जिसमें so Krishna is already fitted the camera. The sun and the moon, they are always witness. And the Bhagavatam talks about 11 witnesses. What to speak of one or two? Would you like to know who are these 11 witnesses who are constantly observing? You are never alone. कभी कभी कुछ लोगों को लगता है ना, अरे ज्यादा भीड़ में लोग रहते हैं, if people are observing me, I become very self conscious, I cannot function. अगर कोई स्पीच देना है, कुछ परफॉर्म करना है, डांस परफॉर्म करना है, and there are hundreds of people watching, I become self conscious, I fumble. But there's a bad news for you. You are never alone. You are always under watch. The only thing is that the people who are watching you, you don't know them, but they know you. So who are these 11 people who are always observing each and every activity that you do? The Bhagavatam describes the sun and the moon. These are the two we already discussed. Then there are these directions. There are the 10 directions, like east, west, north, south, up and down, and the northeast, northwest, southeast, southwest. So 8 plus 2, 10 directions. मतलब एक नहीं 10 directions है वो, but considering directions in general. So all the directions, they are also conscious and aware of what we are doing. So 3 हो गया. चौथा है, then the next 5 are simple to remember: earth, water, fire, air, ether. So earth, mother earth, हम जहां कहीं भी जाएं, mother earth is always in touch. कोई बोले नहीं मैं तो चंद्रमायान में बैठ के चंद्रमा चले जाऊंगा, तो कौन देखेगा? Yes, ether is there, the space is there, the space will still watch you. The space is like all of these different earth, water, fire, air, ether, they are governed by certain devatas or devis. For example, Bhumi Devi, she is a conscious personality. It's not that the earth is a dead matter. This earth is conscious, has a personality behind it. So therefore, when we wake up, we Samudra Vasane Devi, Parvatastana Mandite, Vishnu Patni Namastubhyam, Padasparsha Shamasughe. That, oh Mother Earth, I am going to put my feet on you, please forgive me. So Mother Earth is watching. The space, the ether, then water element, water is there everywhere. Then fire, the fire element is there within our body, right? And fire element is there everywhere. And air element, कुछ भी करो हवा से तो बच नहीं सकते, बिना हवा के तो हम जी नहीं सकते, right? So the air is always blowing and air is always seeing us, observing. So air also has a Vayudev. So you have the sun, the moon, the directions, and these 5 different elements. So ye 5 elements and the directions, they become the space. Then there are 3 witnesses who are representing time. The 3 phases of time: morning, evening, and night. Like the daytime, the evening, the twilight time, and the night time. So this entire 3 times are also, there are devatas who preside, and they are observing whatever we are doing. And then so ये कितने हो गए? 3 + 5 8 और 3 11. And then there is the 12th man, the super soul, the Paramatma. इन सब से भी बच जाओगे. तो जैसे हिरण्यकश्यप में वरदान मांगा, ना दिन में, ना रात में, ना घर में, ना घर के बाहर, राइट? So कोई बच नहीं सकता, परमात्मा से तो कोई बच नहीं सकता है. So the Paramatma, the super soul, is always observing us, watching us. So in that sense, yes, we are, whatever activities we do, they are always accounted for, and therefore we cannot escape the stringent laws of karma. What goes around comes around, and there are these 12 witnesses who will actually, bring it back to us, who will report to the court of law of Yamaraj. The moon god will say, "Arey, इसने उस रात को ऐसा किया." The sun god will say what this person has done. The air will say. So it's scary, but it is also, in one sense, helpful. When you know that your parents are keeping an eye on you, it can be seen as threatening. It can be seen as protection also, as safety. Ki, arey, they are observing me, so let me behave myself, right? So yes, the super soul is always observing us, and these are these other observers who are there. So that's the understanding of witnesses.
I guess we have 21 audience today, 21 members in the session today.
Okay, yes, 21st.
No, I guess 9 participants and the 12 witnesses. Sorry for that.
So thank you.
We take any questions, or is it late for the day?
Well, if anyone has any questions or reflections, they are welcome.
Prabhuji, I have to, I would say express something like regarding the session.
Yes, Mansi, please.
Prabhuji, I have so much respect for your knowledge now. I mean, I would say, it was like everything. It was sweet. It was powerful. It was like boom ho gaya mera pura dimag. Because like literally आपने इतना ज़्यादा detail में बताया. I was like, oh my god, ये भी होता है क्या? And I was feeling so, I would say goosebumps आ गए थे मेरे को. And I was feeling like, oh my god, it's so magical kind of a thing. So, obeisances.
Thank you. Obeisances unto you, Mansi. So actually, वो है ना, मतलब I am just able to just collect some things, in the limited time, and share with you whatever limited understanding or limited capacity I have. I'm just trying to explain whatever I have read. But there's much more detail of each and everything that we discuss. We can go, and actually this life is meant for that, to revel in Krishna's glory, to revel in Krishna's beauty, grandeur. Every aspect of Krishna and his creation is so wonderful.
Very sweet lecture overall. I'm gonna listen it again, like when it gets uploaded on the YouTube. get a better understanding of everything again.
Thank you. What is there any one thing which stands out? Any one particular concept or thing we discussed?
Asking me,
Yes, Mansi.
when you said that the infinite, when like within the finite is like greater infinite, I was like touched so much. Like wow, very nice.
Yeah, Prabhupada was once asked, was challenged that God can do anything, right? Yes. Okay, so can God make a stone which is so heavy that he cannot lift it? So Prabhupada said, yes, he can make a stone and which he cannot lift. So yes, here your God has limitation. He cannot lift a stone. So Prabhupada said, yes, God can make a stone which he cannot lift, and then he will lift it. Also. So we can never bind Krishna by our logic. He will always, just as when Varahadev was attacked by Hiranyaksha. So Hiranyaksha would go and try to capture Varahadev in his arms and try to squeeze him. And as soon as he would try to squeeze, he would find, Arey, kidhar gaye? And he would see him outside of his grip. And then he would again rush and try to again catch and squeeze him. Again, he would see still outside his grip. So this is Krishna. However hard we try with our little tiny gray matter, he will always find Krishna beyond.
Yes, truly.
But Krishna says in the end, in this 11th chapter, like we are not come to the end so far, but Krishna says, Bhaktya tu ananya shakya aham eva vidojana. That only Krishna, that he says, Arjuna, you cannot understand or see this form of mind by austerities, by penances, by yagyas, by reading of scriptures, or by mental, visual speculation. You can understand me only by bhakti. So the infinite makes himself accessible to our finite understanding when he sees that we are in a mood of humility, that we accept our infinitesimal nature. Then he makes the infinite fit in within our finite brain. That's again Krishna's glory.
We need your prayers for exercising that.
Krishna. Thank you. बस I am happy आप लोग हैं तो कुछ I am able to study Gita and discuss. Okay, so Anupriya has a question. Kindly elaborate how to accept past karma reactions which we don't even know we have done in past lives. Okay. So basically, for someone who just encounters this understanding of karma, it can be a bit unsettling, it can be disturbing, and uncalled for. कि अरे मैंने कब पास्ट में क्या किया, मतलब the person knows, we know यार I am suffering, मेरे लाइफ में ये गलत हो रहा है, ये गलत हो रहा है, बट जब तक मुझे कर्मा के बारे में पता नहीं था ना, तब तक इसने किया, उसने किया, इसने मेरे साथ बुरा किया, इसने धोखा दिया, इसने मुझे परेशान किया, या फिर गवर्नमेंट खराब है, या फिर रिजर्वेशन सिस्टम की वजह से प्रॉब्लम है. सो वी कैन ले ब्लेम एट डिफरेंट प्लेसेस एंड फील मैं ठीक हूँ. बट जब ये कर्मा का फैक्टर लाइफ में आ जाता है ना, देन वी आर मैं ही हूँ क्या रिस्पॉन्सिबल. सो इट्स वेरी डिस्टर्बिंग एंड अनसेटलिंग and maybe depressing also. Oh, I am responsible अभी for whatever I am going through in life, and वो भी पता नहीं कहाँ से आ रहा है.
And this makes us overthink for every action in the future. Like, इससे कुछ गलत ना हो जाए, and then again I'll have to suffer. So it's somewhere you overthink and paralyzes our actions. It's like that.
Yes, Anupriya, you're right. So we need to we need to understand the law of karma, and we need to understand how should we understand it. So how do we, make a sense of it? Otherwise, as you said, we might, become very cautious, extra super cautious about every step. Ki iska kya hoga, uska kya hoga. And so how do we understand this? So basically, when you see that there is someone who is more intelligent, someone who is most benevolent, most intelligent and most benevolent, who is releasing my karma to me, then you don't have any fear. कि मेरा कर्मा जो भी है स्टॉक में रखा है वो यूज करने वाले हैं कृष्ण, लेकिन मेरे भले के लिए. हाँ, so when you have that understanding, you will not see your karma as a threat. You will not see your karma as a burden. You will see your karma as an opportunity to grow. You will see your karma as purification. So so that change of vision happens when we see the person behind the karma, the person who is using our karma, right? So we know that it is Krishna who is the supreme intelligent person and who is a supreme loving person. So ये दो चीजें हमें पता लग जाते हैं ना, तो we will never be afraid of karma. कुछ भी हो जाए, मेरे भगवान कंट्रोल में है. वो मतलब जैसे like people say कि भगवान से मत कहो मेरी मुश्किलें कितनी बड़ी हैं, मुश्किलों से कह दो मेरे भगवान कितने बड़े हैं, right? And you know that ये प्रॉब्लम क्या है कृष्णा के लिए, and Krishna has sent it for a purpose in my life. So first thing is we know this, and another thing is, one of the reasons of overthinking or getting paralysis by analysis is when we think that I am in control. The law of karma also makes us understand that you are not in control. We are in problem because we are trying to be the controller. We are caught up in karma when we try to control and manipulate and enjoy things. When we understand that we are not the controllers, we are servants, then we don't mess around with Krishna's machinery of this universe. Then we are just a servant. Krishna, आपने क्या बोला है वही करना है मेरे को. And when you act as per Krishna's guidance, Krishna's advice in the Bhagavad Gita, then Traigunya, Nishtraigunya, you go beyond the three modes. From being bound by the modes, you go beyond the three modes. And when you are beyond the three modes, there is no karma. Right? So, understanding that I am not in control, you will never overthink. Even common sense के हिसाब से सोचें, if you are driving, मतलब अगर आप मान लो एक शहर से दूसरे शहर जा रहे हो, you are going for some, or to some other city. So how many things are in your control? Or I'll ask, how many things are not in your control while you are going from one place to another?
Other person's vehicle, like any calamity, or the vehicle itself can go out of control if there is something wrong in it.
Okay, so let's list down. First is how other people are driving their vehicle. सामने वाला सो गया है steering wheel पे, I cannot control. If the person opposite me is sleeping, he might just dash into me, crash into me. That is not in my control. If the other person is drunk and driving, that is not in my control. How the other people are driving, not in my control. Weather, not in my control. Traffic conditions, not in my control. Road conditions, not in my control. So the number of things not in my control, and you said the vehicle itself. We don't know what happens. Right? Machine aakhirkar. But then what is in my control is a small steering wheel, accelerator, brake, clutch, and your own mood and your own brain. Okay. इतना सा है हमारे कंट्रोल में और इतना कुछ है जो हमारे कंट्रोल में नहीं है. When we understand I am not the controller, you give up fear and worries for things मेरे कंट्रोल में नहीं है, तो why should I bother about them? I have just this little thing in my influence. उसी के साथ मैं अच्छे से maneuver करता हूँ या करती हूँ. Rest, leave it to Krishna. Right? Then you will never overthink. You will say मेरे पास एक छोटा सा भगवान ने capacity दिया है. Let me do it to my full work to my full ability and then rest. Anyways 999 things are not in my control. उसके बारे में tension लेके why do I make my life miserable and spoil my mood and spoil my mindset, which is the only real thing which is in my control. क्योंकि जैसे आपने कहा वो steering wheel भी पता नहीं जाम हो गया क्या हो गया, it's not in my control, but at least my coolness, cool head is in my control. तो अपने दिमाग को cool बनाए रखो, बाकी कुछ जो है वो anyways कृष्णा पे ही छोड़ना.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Thank you.
This will help me a lot.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
So let's conclude our session today. Surya Prabhu, what do you say?
Yes, Prabhu. It was really an informative session. A lot of things, right from avtaras, infinite form to the finite form, and to a personal topic of karma and witnesses. Now, micro to macro सब दिखा दिया Prabhu आपने. Thank you very much.
Krishna has shown a lot. Like we have just covered half of the chapter. There are 3-4 more, questions or sections which we need to cover. We'll do that in the next session, probably next week, but I'm not sure, but we'll let you know, whatever it is. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much.
Thank you everyone.